So one thing we can see here that Dhruv Maharaj got these two very important personalities in his life: his mother and then Nadamani also. So that's how he got good guidance, and because of the good guidance, he could have the right method, devotional service, and then eventually he would pay for it also, because he was under good guidance. That's what we can see here. So one more thing I was thinking here. Uh, you see, Suniti is telling, if you see the whole theme of this verses going on, that he's basically directing Dhruva to the Supreme Lord. So that's one very important thing she's doing. She's somehow directing Dhruva to the Supreme Lord. So maybe, so it's like little tricky in the sense that she's telling that, see, so Ambomanu also got so much opulences by worshipping the Supreme Lord. In this verse, he's saying like that. You know, your grandfathers Swambhuva executed great sacrifices, of charity, and they were with unflinching faith and devotion, worship and satisfied the Supreme Lord. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness, and afterwards achieved liberation. And also Brahmaji also got what he could create and everything because of the blessings of the Supreme Lord only. So you can see that she is giving the reasons to Dhruv Maharaj to go to the Supreme Lord. And that's the most auspicious. That's why this verse says, Kamua most kamua, kamua, akama sarva kamo most kamodar, tivrena bhakti yogena, vijeta purusham param. So that verse says this because coming to Krishna is most auspicious. Like even though this Chaturvida Bhajangrima, Janasukitranadana, Artha Arthati Jigyasu Gyani Chabardashva. So in that, though the three categories of people are basically Karma Mishra Bhaktas, but still because of they are coming to Krishna. So it's very auspicious. That's why Krishna says they are Udar. They are very magnanimous. Because Krishna sees that how they are coming to me, and Krishna feels extremely pleased by that. So that is basically they're coming into the guidance of the Lord, coming in the custody of the Lord. So one thing we can learn here that like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, no, Ekaleshwara Krishna Arasavritya. We are all servants of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. So whatever role we take in this world, whether role of father, mother, brother, sister, relative, friend, actually we should not think that I am the father, I am the brother, I am particular role of whatever I have. It's actually ultimately Krishna is only all of that. That's it, no? Janaka Janaka. जनक जननी दैता तनया प्रभु गुरुपति तु सर्वमय Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhan Pran. So actually everything is Krishna. Krishna is our Bandhu, Krishna is our father, Krishna is our mother. So now we may be somebody may be father in this world. So what I can think is Krishna is his father. So I need to depend upon the Supreme Father. On the guidance, how can I guide myself? So basically all the leaders they are simply representing. So that post actually that what actually the post is that is ultimately Krishna is the person who can do the justice to all those posts. Krishna only can do the justice in this world. So spiritual master also, like Prabhupada Radhanath Singh Maharaj says, if you want me to serve you as your friend, as your servant, or as your spiritual master, whatever. But ultimately, I am servant also. That's what he says. So even spiritual master also depends upon the guidance of the Lord and his spiritual master to be able to guide like that. So this is the mood, that in our life of Krishna consciousness, that we may have to take the role in this world of guiding or directing someone or having some control, having some position. So knowing that ultimately Krishna is the possessor, Krishna is actually the person whom everyone belongs to. He is the ultimate guide of everyone. He is the ultimate spiritual master. He is the ultimate father and mother. Because here, even Suniti, she said this, that because you're hurt and you're so much aggrieved, what love I can offer you? The Lord can offer you the love of millions of others. So she has that understanding very clearly that she's only representative. But ultimately, Lord will fulfill all his needs to the core because God carries all love. He's the abode of love. He's the supreme mother. He's the supreme father. So this understanding is so beautiful because we will be encouraged to take shelter of the Lord more and more, and we'll also encourage everyone, where we may have some influence or some role we may carry in relation to somebody in this world. So that's the mood, and then the life of that person becomes auspicious. So the whole mood here, Suniti, is that take Dhruva to Lord. Whatever he has got agreement and he has desires, but she is tricking Dhruva to come to Krishna. So by giving this example. So it should have directly said that okay, don't go to demigods, give up these kinds of desires. Probably you would have not heard. So she tricked. She told, you can see Swayambhu, they got all the offenses. They were worshipping the Supreme Lord. So go to the Supreme Lord. So if suppose she'd have told, no, okay, don't go to demigods, give up this kind of desires, then probably he would have not. So the point is, we have to know that somebody comes to Krishna, that will be everything will be taken care. And she is not telling also that you should go to fulfill your desire or something because he is coming with that desire. So she's just saying very authentically. See, Swayambhu, what happened to him? He worshipped the Supreme Lord and he got it. He just brings the detail of it. She's not saying that you should also try to. She's not like trying to encourage too much about it. But the whole essence of her talk is go to the Lord. Go to the Lord. Like sometimes, people may have some problems. This is not happening, that is not happening. So our Vanmali Guru says, chant, you just chant. He emphasizes too much, just chant, or any other devotee also. They will focus on chanting. So now they may take it like, okay, this will solve my problem. But the devotee has a conviction, Krishna will solve your real problem. We will not specifically too much mention about it. But we know that by coming in touch with Krishna, Krishna will take it. Like that. That's the mood. And if they're ready, we can help them understand the higher principles of that. You don't have to ask Krishna is anyway going to provide. If they're ready, they can, or if they mature up, then we can guide them more nicely also. Instead of being a mixed devotee, they can become devotee. Eventually, one can be guided. And anyway, Krishna will make arrangements for that person. That way. But the point is that the helping person to come to Krishna is very important. And second thing is, in Krishna consciousness, we are not so much interested in just telling people that how, don't do this, don't do that, this is Maya, this is nonsense. That is correct, we must say that. But we want people to get positive experience in Krishna. Because when they get that experience with Krishna, that will be a loud thing in their own mind and heart to take up Krishna consciousness. So like yesterday's program happened, the wonderful Kirtan and all that. So I'm saying that for those participants and new people, they're only putting some videos and pictures. They're so inspired. That experience is so hard to think of. The experience of the pure devotee, the experience of the Sangha Vaishnavas, the Kirtan and everything, the Prashadam. So this is what Prabhupada also did. Prabhupada gave them the experience of Krishna Masters. Because Prabhupada asked that, how do you know that Krishna will Supreme Personality of Godhead? And how this is, will become happy and Supreme Personality of Godhead. And many people said, by from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is one of the book. I'm reading Gita, you're reading some other book, Christian Bible. So, no, something else. Some other time, Prabhupada might have told from Gita, but this time he was saying, no, what else? And then finally, Prabhupada did not accept the answer. And finally, he said, when you experience Krishna. When you experience Krishna, then you understand Krishna is the God. That time he said this way. So that means Krishna consciousness is not just a theoretical concept. There is experience actually. There is experience, which is even a very new person can feel. So it's not that only when you become completely purified, then only. Of course, that time maybe the level of experience will be much deeper and deepest. But even a very new person can experience, because that's very natural to the living. very, very natural. So if somebody comes to the kid, so this is always amazed me, that somebody very first time come to Kirtan might have heard so many songs, Bollywood song, Hollywood song, much more with instruments and things like that. But people when they come to Kirtan, they have a special experience. I have very many people in Western background, they have never got this kind of Kirtan or Krishna or Rama, but they experience something divine. How? Because there is Krishna present there. So when people take up the chanting, so they experience something, wonderful. So why? Because there's Krishna is there. So the point is, so we can for condition. Dhruv Maharaj is going to experience Krishna, and then he will be relieved from all whatever he's undergoing right now. All this material hankering and anything, whatever it is. So there's a very important principle that we have to have convinced. We have to have that conviction. People if they experience Krishna, they will give their life to Krishna. So we have to simply try to help them to experience Krishna more. And for that, we also should experience Krishna by sincerely serving to Krishna and taking Krishna consciousness and help others also that way. There was in Mayapur one kind of conference going on. I think I-Leads, they were talking. So there are all different leaders of this conference. So they were telling all the problems how modern Indians are facing. Saying now it's pornography and Bollywood and all that. What it is like Facebook, Instagram, social media, and so many varieties of troubles people have. Reels have come, so people are so distracted because and then nowadays the girlfriend boyfriend is so early only they start all this. So the boys are so bad now, so contaminated. So how breathing will happen? They were like discussing with that on the table, and then there I forget which Maharaj. I think Guru Prasad Singh Maharaj, if I'm not wrong. So one Maharaj, one particular Maharaj, he went and he was asking what discussion was going. They were telling this that we are having this discussion. They are having so much distractions, Maharaj. How this being should become attracted to Krishna. He said, "Are you convinced that the experience of Krishna consciousness is higher than any other experience what they are having in mental life?" So if some or other you can help them experience Krishna, then they will take up Krishna consciousness. They will give the life to Krishna. And that's what you see that nobody thought that hippies, they were into such kind of covered consciousness. But they could take up Krishna consciousness. Not like that. They just took up so powerfully that they transform the life of so many people all over the world. So this is a very important thing that we simply have to just help people to experience Krishna. Sometimes I think, what we can preach, we can speak something here and there. But somehow Prabhupada has given us such a strong, environment for people to experience Krishna. It's automatically preaching. Like yesterday Vivek Sharma ji was saying, "Arey, hum to kuch karte nahi Prabhu." I just try to connect. Maharaj is glorifying me that he is a very good coordinator. Actually, I just try to connect people. Somehow किसका पता नहीं कब उद्धार हो जाएगा. When somebody will become serious, we don't know. And I told you, we don't know. The person whom you are connecting to, temple, he may be next, Narendra Swami Maharaj or Radha Swami Maharaj. We never know that. So because the Prabhupada's gift is so amazing, and the Prabhupada, but the way he has given, so person gets to experience it. Like people sometimes they come, one person came, just going out to Prabhupada, and then going out to here, and he was not getting the point. And then he's getting these empty tears in his eyes. I think what is happening with him? We are offering over this so many times. But the point is, people are experiencing something. They're experiencing something in DT. They're experiencing something in Prashadam. They're experiencing something, in their associating with devotees. So this is very powerful. So we don't have to do much. We have to simply connect people to Prabhupada books. We have to simply connect people to DTs, connect people to devotees. And that Sangha will take care. You said so many people came, just by hearing Maharaj and having Kirtan inspired. We have to do our tiny job, just get the people, somehow get them and get them in association. Like that, different forums, books. So then Prabhupada says, what is your 2 minutes of teaching will do? You give me my book, and you will read and his life will perfect. So we have that. So we should not feel, I don't have purity, I lack a lot, how the preaching will happen. We may not make some more so much, but we are doing that service, and by that we will be blessed. This will allow us to experience Krishna deeper. because Krishna will be pleased with us. When we are trying to bring somebody in Sangha of Krishna conscious, Krishna conscious environment, Krishna conscious devotee. So this is a very important point. So we have to bring people to the most powerful experience of Krishna consciousness. And then here another point was ekamatya. One pointed focus was mentioned here. How one pointed focus way Swayambhu, he worshipped the Supreme Lord. Same way his father also, Brahmadi also, one pointed focus. He also worshipped the Supreme Lord. And we can see eventually Dhruv Maharaj also worshipped the Supreme Lord, one pointed focus. So focused. He was like completely unwavering. Just constantly chanting Hare of the Lord, worshipping the deity and remembering the pastime of the Lord in a very one pointed focus way. So this and that verse also says, Tivraina Bhakti Yoga. There also it is mentioned. Very intense devotion service. So, because to the degree you are connecting Krishna deeply, so then purification is surely going to come. Like yesterday I was saying, apapavitham and shuddham. These two main qualities of Lord which Upanishad describes. So he can actually is the most purifying agent, and he can do the vaccine by which you don't even get any sinful. Sin cannot touch you also. So he has that power like that. Basically, you have to connect. That's why this word is used, ekamatya. So our problem is not that we don't have the facility. Problem is that we sometimes fail to connect. The difficulty we are not able to connect. Like sometimes when some preachers come and they inspire us deeply, chanting seminar. Then what happens after the seminar? Then we very deeply connect. Like we remember Gurujan would come in Pune, he give seminar, then he'll make us chant also there. And that time chanting will be so good. Because he will be sometimes speaking also. So what eventually is happening, what he is doing, he's simply trying to make us connect to the holy name with trying us not to be distracted and understand what you're doing and connect. Ekamatya. Ekamatya. When ekamatya happens, immediately you see, deep satisfaction, divine nourishment. How many of us have experienced it? Whenever we try to connect, then we have a lot of us have experienced it. It's not that always chanting is right. So when we are connecting, it is wonderful. Right? So Mahatma Prabhu says, so make it as a daily. Why only once in a while? Whenever I am going to chant, I'm going to chant fully. Fully I'm trying to connect. Of course, it's difficult, but it is possible from the words of Mahatma Prabhu. He says, whenever Radhanath Swami gives class, he gives excellent class. He has given an example. And then he gives an example of Kirtani also. Whenever Ayandar who has to do Kirtan, he will be fully absorbed. So like that you see that you get so you see that whatever they will do full focus. Same way as sadhaka. So if you can just work on this point that whatever we are doing, if we connect deeply, then we'll have much more deeper satisfaction. Like that. And the good thing is that increases the taste, and then we'll be able to do it better and better also. And otherwise, it becomes vicious cycle. If you don't do it, then we become mechanical, and then distaste is there, and then further we are not feeling smart. So that's why ekamatya, like it says. So ekamatya is very important. So we have later scattered consciousness. So and that's what the person Shraddha Shabda Vishwas Sudhri Nichya. Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Kripa. So this faith is required. So the essence of all our reading, hearing, association is that our faith is developed. Now the faith has become powerful. The only thing is again we get carried away. So when faith is developed, then we can bring our consciousness, focus on Krishna more. Otherwise, our consciousness is scattered. So we may have faith in Krishna, but some faith in our intelligence, some faith in money, some faith in influential people, some faith in whatever arrangement. When everything fails, finally some faith in Krishna. So instead of that, so they scattered consciousness. Ekamatya means Krishna is my ultimate truth. This understanding. Krishna Bhakti Kala Sarva Karma. If I fully depend on Krishna, take shelter of Krishna, then all other things I can do the service. But I have to fully depend on Krishna. So this does not mean that a devotee stops working, planning, or using intelligence. Arjuna did not put down his bow after hearing Bhagavad Gita, but he got full ability. But the difference was before surrender, he was thinking my arrangements, he was thinking in those terms. And but after surrender, he understood that I have to fight. I'll have to be responsible in doing whatever arrangement, whatever fight I have to do. But ultimately, Krishna is my protector. That he understood. So instead of having scattered consciousness, we can have one point of focus, and that can happen by faith. And we can get faith. That's why from hearing great souls, reading Srila Prabhupada books, and that kind of association can lead to good faith. That can help us to have ekamatya, ekamatya. And then Prabhupada also explains about about demigod worship also is discussing. And he says that exact words. He spoke about demigod also. Yeah, he says to become successful in any attempt, oh, sorry, I was continuous. Yeah, here. So he says that that which is impossible to obtain from any other source. Any other source is demigod worship. So it is basically that opulence of Manu was due to his undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. One who diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness is considered bereft of intelligence. So if anyone wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. So that's the verse, no? Kama sarva kamo most kamo. So so coming to Krishna is auspicious because demigods are actually not independent of Krishna, and their benedictions are also given by Krishna only. And the faith in what worshipper has for demigod also is installed by Krishna only. So that's why it is explained that they are alpametis. That means they don't have intelligence. They're less intelligent. That's why they're going to demigods. So if somebody understands that actually Krishna is the shelter of the demigods also. So Suniti had full understanding of it. That's why she is directed to Krishna. And then another thing is that even if somebody has material desires, it is not that he is disqualified from the Krishna. He's not qualified. He can also come to Krishna. And as we discussed yesterday also, one was saying nice that how Krishna purifies him. Okay, he is wanting material desire, but I am not foolish like him. So I will give him my own shelter of lotus, shelter of my own lotus, and that way he will forget all kinds of things. Like that. So with that conviction, a devotee can encourage everyone to come to Krishna, because when he comes to Krishna, he'll forget all other things like that. So we don't have to discard people just because somebody may not have proper motivation. Sometimes, many devotees they say, Prabhu, why this devotee is becoming in charge? He is having a lot of he has better motivation. He has some motivation. So he's not a pure devotee, Prabhu. Not we expect pure devotee out of the leaders also sometimes, or in charges, or any kind of something. So the point is that the great souls they see that the service will purify them. That's what they see. So if they're engaging in some service, that will purify their motivation also. We will begin with some kind of colored motivations. Part of sincerity could be that we know that we have ulterior motives and we don't want to continue with them. That's the sincerity in the path of pure devotional service. That's why in Anya Vilasata Shunya. That means we are not, one should not have any ulterior motivations. So now in our case, we may have ulterior motivations as well. So that's why we may tend to sometimes kind of mix, even though we are chosen the path of pure devotional service. But the great souls have that vision that even though his person is having some kind of ulterior motivations, but if he is willing to take up the service, they encourage. take up the service. And by that, ultimate motive will frustrate him also. Some kind of burnout, frustration, troubles will be there. And then he may become more ready to purify also. The service is purifying like that. So that's why everybody can be engaged in service. If we have to only see the pure devotees to do any service in our organization or ISKCON, then going for probably very few will be there. But all of us are encouraged. So, and we should also not falsely think just because I have got a service, I'm in charge of something, I'm a very great soul. We know that the great souls are very great to accommodate you, even though I'm filled with so many motivations. Yeah. And as a part of sincere sadhaka, we should know that this thing I have to give up. Like he was saying, the difference between the ordinary materialist and a person who is in path of purity is that the materialists they cherish truth as they want to maintain, but as devotees we want to get rid of this. We see them as anarthas. That's what he was saying. But sometimes we may not be able to see them as anarthas also. We may actually want those things kind of stuck. Though we have come to path of purification service, Swan is giving us purification service only, but we are kind of sticking to some kind of ultimate motivations. But even still, the great source understanding that how this whole process is so purifying, they still give service and encourage and empower, and then the service will purify them also. And because they're also engaging in the process of purification, hearing, chanting, it's all pure sources. So that is also purifying. That way it is. So come to Krishna with water condition, but allow Krishna consciously to purify. That way. So Dhruv Maharaj, he began with I want the kingdom, but then later he did not want anything. He just simply was happy to have the Lord and just to serve the Lord. So Krishna actually purifies the heart. So generally people they come, is Krishna, I have prepared my plan, please bless it. People may come with that kind of understanding. But actually, as he gets purified, then he says, Krishna, what is your plan? Please engage me with it. That is a difference. Initially, we pray, give me money, success, job, remove this difficulty, give me this relationship, give me this position. But coming to Krishna is auspicious. We have to really feel good about them. Okay, they have come to Krishna. And as they get engaged in the process of devotional service, then they will not have that. And they will think that, my Lord, whether my external situation changes or not, please don't allow me to forget you. Please engage me in your service. In that kind of consciousness. So, and another thing what Prabhupada said that Swambhuvanu's opulences, we are talking about is all God has given. So the opulences of the devotee and opulences of the devotee is different. So opulence of the devotee is very auspicious as well. Because devotee uses in Krishna's service. It is blessed by Srimati Radharani. Right? So it does not bind the devotee. The reason is the devotee has that consciousness that it belongs to Krishna. And so that's why Krishna doesn't have any problem to give opulences to devotees. In fact, Krishna wants to give all opulences to devotees only. Because they only know how to use my opulences. Krishna has no issue. Prabhupada said I was having 40 rupees hardly. And Krishna gave me so much money. So when Krishna gives, he can't even like hold also. So much Krishna gave. But Prabhupada used everything in Krishna's service. So devotee is not so much concerned about material opulence or not. He is concerned about that, let me become a good servant. And Krishna will anyway bless, if that is required for me to serve Krishna, that's how Krishna wants me to serve. So Krishna is not attached, devotee is not attached or averse to opulence. That is the point. So devotee does not think that I possess wealth. He understands that this is Krishna's wealth. So he is not, the wealth does not possesses his consciousness. That means we get the same way the position what we have. So do I use my position for Krishna or do I become attached to the position? Do I use my intelligence to serve Krishna or does intelligence make me proud and independent? Prabhupada said this one, 000, you put 1, it becomes auspicious. So when we have that right consciousness, then actually it becomes very auspicious. Opulences of a devotee is wonderful, actually. And then it says that, so Krishna consciousness is not something sectarian. It is a constitutional function of every living being. That is another important point. Yesterday, Maharaj was making this point also. Prabhupada came here not with that sectarian idea. I want to convert you, and I'll use that word. So, because it is a constitutional function of every living entity. So, our preaching should ultimately help people to come to the truth that they should hear about Krishna, chant Krishna's name, take Krishna Prasadam, read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, associate with devotees, render devotional service. So, when they do that, so then people will automatically experience Krishna. And because that is very natural. As I said, it's not something sectarian. It is natural to them. So instead of thinking, let me make this member or let me convert this person as a member of an organization, so we can have that mood. Here is one eternal part and parcel of Krishna who has forgotten his relationship. How can I help this person to take one genuine step towards Krishna? That mood we can have. So, so one example was very good. Like if suppose somebody is in dark room, you have so many candles, and actually people are seeking some light in their life. Everybody is seeking some light, some love, some warmth, some shelter. So they are like small candles, like money, relationship of this world, some reputation, some position, some education, health. So we are seeking some light, some warmth, some love. Like that. It's all small candles, and we are so much insecure. Like, little bit some candles we automatically see that it should not get blown off like that. So we are so much having anxiety and also still we face so much of darkness in spite of that also. So but and the person feels if this goes out of my life, then everything is finished. I will not get this. It feels like that. But but Krishna is like sun. If the sun of Krishna consciousness is gone in someone's life, then he gets so much, so much. So he feels such deep fulfillment, then he doesn't have anxiety about the candles. So this is an amazing thing. So instead of spending our life running after temporary shelter, one after another, you better go to supreme shelter. That's what Suniti is doing with human. You go to the sun. So he is kind of searching for, that's what he says, no? I was searching after broken pieces of glass. He did not even say, some candle or something like that. Then I was searching for broken pieces of glass. So useless. Cannot give me anything. But I got time. I got sun. So instead of searching for a candle, I got sun. So that's the point. So here, so it is giving the direction that you go to Krishna, and Krishna is like a sun. Then he'll feel all warmth, all satisfaction, all nourishment. Then he will forget everything else. He will be fully satisfied. So beginning a devotee, when he is not having that pure devotional paradigm, he may come to Krishna. Krishna can give me everything, wants many things. But eventually a devotee understands Krishna is only everything for me. To who sarvamaya? You are my everything. And so in the beginning he may ask, what can I get from Krishna? But eventually understand, what can I do? Because I am servant of Krishna, I want to serve. So from sakam karma, from sakam devotion, one can come to pure devotion by just experiencing Krishna gradually. So that can happen by having ekamatya and having the right guidance of Krishna and his devotees. And we have that fortune because we are associating with Lord and his pure devotees. So even though we may have whatever motivations, we are stuck, we are open, but just remain focused in this program of devotions. Somehow, if we remain focused. So it is very powerful. Krishna is very powerful, very purified. So we all will be purified. The same purpose said anybody who has come to Krishna consciousness, his life is perfect. No matter who is, from where he is beginning. So for some it may take some more time, some it may take less time, but everybody will get purified if we simply remain in the process of this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness. This is what Prabhupada is giving us. So we have to be very, very hopeful and enthusiastic in our own practice and preach with that same hope and enthusiasm. Pause here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.